Hello and welcome back to Tales from the Age of Men, and we've entered another battle where someone was actually attempting to attack our archers. Now, obviously, this is the funny thing here. We're going to have, we're going to have our archers actually be joining us here because obviously, well, I have a couple. I have started to sort of, as I said in the previous episode, I kind of wanted to try and get some more so that we could get some horse archer counters up and running. Unfortunately, obviously, at the moment, I don't really want to get rid of a huge amount of my infantry to be able to field more archers. So what we're going to have to do is we're just going to have to struggle, which we're not really doing, but I'm going to use that word nevertheless. We're just going to struggle a little bit. And once we obviously lose a handful of infantry, I'll recruit more, and then we'll just, advance them into archers. But we need to be a little bit careful, because we can't just go overboard. We cannot go overboard on archers or anything like that. We really want to just make sure that we are as stable as possible when it comes to dealing with enemy armies. And I'm talking about in general here. I'm not talking about the largest armies, the smallest armies, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just anything. And whether that's siege warfare or battlefields, we really need to make sure that we're not going overboard on archers. And this is the funny thing. Generally, I feel like elves, I feel like they are a bit too typecast when it comes to bows and stuff like that, obviously. For me personally, I feel like there's not really any need to consistently adhere to that kind of guideline. Like, we really do not need to be like, oh yes, I'm an elf, I need to use a bow, I need to call myself Legolas XD, and so on and so forth. No, we don't really need to do that, because generally, as I say, that's not necessary. We are very, very clearly elf-like. You can see that. We don't need to adhere to the stereotype even further, even though, to be fair, as I said already, it's going to be a good idea for us to get some nice, some nice archers to try to counter the horse archers a little bit, because Rune is so heavy in terms of horse archers. I'm actually very surprised about that. Well, maybe I shouldn't be so surprised considering, but yeah, they are pretty strong in that regard. So I'd like to try and make sure that we have as much of a counter as possible. I'm going to tell my forces to charge in here, apart from the archers, of course. The archers are just going to hold position at the back here. And this is a very, very simple victory for us. This is not going to be something where we have to be like, oh no, what's actually going on here? No. This was a guy that was literally just trying to raid one of our villages, and someone actually mentioned in the comments, and I'm not really sure about these kinds of things, but this was very, very interesting, because if that is indeed the case, we could force some rebellions ourselves. So what I'm talking about right now is, if you are successful in raiding a village, or if someone is successful in raiding a village, apparently, according to this person, you are able to theoretically reduce the loyalty. Maybe it's part of security or something like that. But yeah, the comment stated that you can reduce loyalty, or enemies can reduce loyalty for your towns by 25 points. Which, if that is correct, if that's accurate, that it's 25 points whenever a village is raided, I am absolutely shocked. Because that means that technically, if we wanted to cause some kind of rebellion, if we wanted to continue causing rebellions, we would actually be able to do that relatively easily. Literally just by going in and raiding a village here or there, we would have an insanely, exceptionally easy time. It would be so easy for us to do that. Because what we'd do, obviously, is we would literally... yeah, there's no point in me taking these guys. Because what we'd do, obviously, is we just go in, we would literally be like, oh yeah, okay, so I'm going to be, raiding this village, raiding that village, raiding this village, and then, boom, that's 75 loyalty lost. And most of the time, most of the time, towns don't have 75 loyalty. No, not unless you're running forgiveness of debts and various other loyalty-based policies. Oh yeah, and by the way, I do have a companion being the governor here now. It's that guy that was in the tavern this entire time. I basically just decided, you know what? I am literally just going to, I'm just going to get him, and hopefully it's going to provide a small amount of benefit. And apparently it is. Apparently it's actually pretty good. His abilities are actually kind of nice. Unfortunately, the loyalty is not very good, as you can see right there. Loyalty is still kind of, I mean, loyalty is 85, which is very good, of course. But you have to take into account that we're not gaining a huge amount of loyalty, otherwise we'd see it in a whole number here, but we're gaining some decimal points, I assume, which is obviously fine. As long as we're gaining decimal points rather than losing them, that is all that really matters. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to spend some money here, and we're going to be going into the garrison and literally just placing these Sylvan levies inside, because we need troops, right? We need troops in here. If we can reduce the amount of trouble we're having here, then we'll probably have a pretty nice time, and we maybe won't be facing yet another rebellion. Anyway, I've had a look around. This is under siege, by the way. This is under siege. We don't need to worry about this, though. So yeah, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to go over to Fiscus over here. We're going to go over to Fiscus, because what that is going to do is that's going to allow us to perform a siege that is relatively far away from where we currently are. It's going to throw the opponent off guard. It's potentially going to make things really, really nice for our allies as well, because you can see here we do actually have a couple of allied buildings in the area, and this is definitely going to make, hopefully, a whole lot of sense, because if we can go in there and actually take it, because I've taken a look at the garrison, by the way. The garrison is, as you can see, only around 300. I say only, but that should technically keep them from sallying out and possibly murdering us. At least that's the hope. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go into the siege. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't starve them out. This is not really going to work out too well for us here. I think it's not going to work out really, really great, but we have destroyed all of the catapults, and we've also destroyed the walls, of course. So this is going to be all right. I'm not really looking forward to this too badly, but maybe what we can do is something a little bit new here. I'm gonna go straight on by these guys, gonna do a little bit of damage. Actually wondering, you know what? I'm actually gonna help these guys out. I'm gonna help out our forces here, just coming in the back, doing some damage. I'm going to just try to do as much as I possibly can in this situation. Look at this massive damage right here. This is absolutely perfect. They're absolutely ignoring me as well. Funnily enough, I've actually found that the AI in Bannerlord tends to ignore troops on horseback. So, in other words, if we are on horseback, they tend to ignore us a lot more than if we were on foot. Obviously, they don't ignore us completely, because we are still taking some damage and things like that, but it's actually quite funny, because obviously if I were to get off my mount right now, right, I can almost 100% guarantee that we would have a number of people turning to face us, blocking our offensive push as much as they possibly can, and making it very, very uncomfortable for us. And that is generally what tends to happen quite often. So yeah, these guys are obviously sharpshooters. Let's try and get out of the way. I'm going to just wait around here. Going to tell our forces to charge in, because obviously I'm going in here by myself, which is not particularly good. Aha, I am now going to probably die, maybe. Let's hope that I don't. The question is, are these guys going for headshots? Because if they're going for headshots, we might have a problem. I obviously would like to go back to elf territory and actually purchase some better gear, because, well... we do have quite the ability to create really, really good stuff, right? You know, we can create weapons and everything, and these weapons are going to be insanely profitable for us. So it would be really, really nice if we could actually go back there at some point. But obviously at the moment, I'm kind of busy. I'm kind of busy. That's the only problem right here, you know? That is the main issue we're having. I could potentially... Wait a minute. Okay, we might have a bit of a problem here now. I'm gonna get off my mount real fast. Please do not... Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. Okay, there we go. No, we're fine. Okay, so I'm gonna try, if I can, to completely clear out this archery nest. This guy is going way too fast for me. Unfortunate. Okay, so let's just kill these, if I can. Okay, now, I need to make sure that we don't take any damage here. Any damage at all. I'm kind of doing okay, I guess, but not great. Yeah, no, we should be fine, I think. No, no, don't take damage, don't take damage. Who's this guy? Who's this guy next to me? Can he get out of the way, please? He's actually making things a bit more difficult for me right now. So I'm not really too best pleased here. But I think it's actually kind of nice that he's helping. Oh, never mind. He's dead now. Okay, so... Oh, no, they're shooting me. Yeah, dodge, dodge, dodge. Okay, there we go. Nice, nice, nice. Perfect. Okay, now we just need to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of dodging, a little bit of dancing, and yeah, now we're going to have some problems. Ah, there we go. There are the problems. Where are my forces? They're fighting here. Okay, that was actually really, really bad and kind of annoying, actually. Kind of annoying because I felt like we had this in the bag, but my forces, all they had to do... Yeah, this is the funny thing. All they had to do was ignore the infantry and just come over here and fight the archers with me. And that's literally what would have allowed us to win there. Obviously, if I had the ability to do so, as in micromanaging, I could have told my troops to come to me. You know, I could have told them to hold position up on the top there. And we probably would have been able to achieve something so much greater, because I would have had reinforcements. I was kind of hoping with the addition of that one person that another one would actually... you know, come out of the woodwork and try to help us out, but obviously that did not happen. So we're now going to need to defend ourselves against the overwhelming onslaught of the catapults, and we'll see what we can do here. I'm a little bit worried about the vassals in the area. A little bit worried about them. I'm not entirely pleased that they're kind of gathering, you know, and that's going to be a bit problematic. Okay, so yeah, we are obviously going to be going for a 10% increased trebuchet accuracy during siege bombardment. This is, in my opinion, pretty good. I mean, it's a little bit boring because it is just a percentage increased chance or whatever, but you know, it's decent. You know, it's a 10% increase in the efficiency of trebuchets, which is, I guess, kind of good, right? We're going to go for another point in engineering here because I am spending quite a long time doing this whole building stuff and destroying things and so on and so forth. And we are actually getting a lot of engineering skill as a result of that. As you can see, we're now at 133, which I never would have expected us to get to 133, that's for sure. When we were all the way, I don't know, days and days and days ago, and it was literally, what, 30 or something? Or 17 or whatever? I don't even know. I can't even remember what it was. But yeah, we had some big trouble actually getting that happening. But, oh, look at this. We've got some mercenaries. Okay, apparently Thranduil has decided to recruit some mercenaries to the cause, which, well, we need them. We need them pretty badly. Now this is the problem, isn't it? Yes, this is the problem, because obviously we have the ability to potentially recruit a bunch of these guys, but I'm actually not going to do that. As I said to you in previous episodes, maybe even in the previous series, we had the opportunity to recruit evil units. I'm not going to do that just purely because I don't think that that is realistic, in the sense that, you know, however much Lord of the Rings can be realistic, because obviously it is set in a fantasy world, so, you know, technically, yeah, you get my drift, right? You know. Anyway, the point is, how realistic is it within the confines of that universe to think to yourself, yes, I 100% believe that these evil men would start working with the elves, and I'm definitely 100% sure that the elves would decide to take on some evil people into their armies. That doesn't really make any sense. So that's why I'm, gonna play it, the realistic sense in that way. Now let's see if we can actually just do a little bit of damage to these guys. Not really wanting to do too much here. I'm just wanting to kind of get stuck in a little bit, try to do a little bit of damage, nothing too dramatic, but I would like to inflict some casualties on horseback, because that is going to increase our morale damage. Obviously, the problem with the current version of Bannerlord that we're playing on right now is that we don't have the morale meter. There is no tangible way to know how much damage we're actually doing to the morale. And in the beta version of, well, basically the War Sales patch, they do have a visual representation of the morale, which I have to admit, I actually feel is very, very nice to know. But obviously, many times you're going to be in the battle and you're going to think to yourself, oh, look at my morale is really, really good, and the enemies is really, really good, but we are destroying them. And it's only in the very, very late stages of the battle that you're actually going to see, unfortunately, any real impact of your efforts to deplete the enemy's morale. Which I have to admit, I'm kind of a bit disappointed by. I was kind of hoping that morale would be a bit more of a, shall we say, a big player in battles and things like that, because there are quite a few perks that are centric on morale, right? They are morale centric, and they are basically making it possible for you to either be very, very productive in doing damage to the enemy's morale, or by increasing your own force's morale. And in those ways, you're obviously going to have a very, very nice time either, you know, causing enemies to flee or maintaining your own forces and making sure they don't run away. Now, from my perspective, I do personally always really take the perks that provide increased morale damage, because I personally really, really love that. I think that that is super, super fun. And I love seeing the opponent run away because we've inflicted so much damage in such a short space of time. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go over here. I know, we've got archers over there, but I'm hopeful that they will have limited amounts of, shall we say, effectiveness, because we are, well, down here and they're up there, and they have limited amounts of people that can potentially shoot at us at once. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe that is going to be okay, and then we're going to just basically focus on as many people as we can here, try to kill them as fast as possible, and then we'll go up to the archers afterwards. This may be a mistake. It may have been a better idea to go for the archers first, but you could see here, these guys are just literally delaying us. They are trying to delay us very, very obviously here. I'm gonna go off my mount. I'm gonna get off my mount. Here we go. Let's try and see if we can maybe do something here. Yep, there we go. Okay. Trying to get round the side. A little bit annoying that the wall is right there, but, you know, can't really do much about that. These fellows are literally just holding position. They know that we are being bombarded by archers right now. And that is the one thing that we have to be very careful of here. I could die from a headshot right now, technically. So if there's a lucky or unlucky arrow headed my way, well, it's been nice knowing everyone. Yes, I will die very, very shortly. Maybe not. Maybe not, actually. Okay, yeah, it seems as though... Yeah, okay. So there are actually people running away right now, which is absolutely perfect. And we do have the archers taking up different secondary positions. I'm going to just try to avoid getting absolutely slaughtered here. Thankfully, if they shoot me in the body or in the hand or something like that, I will probably survive. But if they shoot me in the head, I'm going to die very, very fast. That's just how it goes. But I think we're actually good. Oh, no, wait. No. We have these guys. Oh, I actually didn't even tell my forces to charge in again. That was a bit of a mistake on my part. But hopefully my forces will be able to come over here and actually help me out. I don't really want to switch to my bow, even though I would like to level up my bow. The main reason is it's just not that effective in this situation, because I am going to be up against, what, 16 archers firing at me at once. And if I'm, you know, in a 1 versus 1 or even a 3 versus 1, 5 versus 1, something like that, I don't really mind. But when there are so many archers, it's probably a good idea not to get it out, because as soon as you whip it out, you know exactly what you're going to get. They're going to go to town on it, right? They are literally going to go to town on it and make sure that they're gonna tag team you in such a big way, and it's just going to be a huge mess. Unfortunately, that is just generally how it is when you have more people focusing you at the same time. Obviously, right now we don't really have to worry about that, because they have just been 100% finished off. Is this guy the leader, by the way? I feel like this guy is the leader. Yes, he is. Look at that. He is actually the leader of the faction, so I'm going to be taking him prisoner. And look at this. I've actually freed a dwarf. Very nice indeed. Look at that. So that's very, very nice. Let's take all of these prisoners, because I'm going to be selling a whole bunch. And yeah, so we've actually captured this town. Very, very useful indeed. And I'm now thinking, no, 27,000, not worth it in my opinion. For elves, 27,000 experience is pretty much nothing. So, you know, it's okay. Don't get me wrong, it's okay, but it's definitely not something that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I should probably sell all of that, or you know, I should probably give away all of that. No, it doesn't really make much sense to me to do that. Anyway, loads and loads of fish available here, so I will be taking quite a bit. Yeah, okay. Why am I so over encumbered? I actually have no idea why. I guess I just have so much food, right? I mean, I don't even have that much food, to be honest. It's kind of strange. Oh, it's probably because I don't have that many troops. I think my troops have died, so that might be the reason. Let me just take a quick look here. Yeah, no, we're fine, we're fine. Okay, so we're just gonna do this, and we're just gonna go over here and make sure that we take this guy, and obviously take this guy, and we're going to sell the rest. 39,000. I think that's pretty decent. 39,000 for some random prisoners. I think that's kind of nice. And now we can obviously start recruiting people from here as well. And these guys that we recruit from here, they will be created, or shall we say, upgraded into archers. Let's actually just take a quick look. Yeah, my palace guard population is still pretty good. And so we're going to be creating more archers as we recruit more levies, and that's how that's going to go. So as you can see, we're actually now starting to do pretty well in regards to our cash situation, and that is all thanks to our governor, I think. That's kind of weird. All right, vote for the new owner of Fiscus. Well, obviously it's going to... He wants it? Are you serious? Okay, you know what? I could try for it, but he's just going to give it to himself if it's a 50-50. So I might as well just bet with him, right? Yeah, I'm just going to bet with him, try to get as much relation as possible. Who knows? Maybe it's going to be a good idea at some point. I mean, he is a little bit weird in regards to which people he decides to... well, should we say which fiefs he decides to give to himself and so on, but I think this is pretty nice. Look at this. This is a pretty nice way of going about things. I have no idea. How's my camera? My camera is supposed to be like this. Okay. So, yeah, basically, the main problem that I'm foreseeing right now, that I have right now, is that obviously we cannot take this due to the siege anchors being uninteractable. So, obviously, that's a problem, but otherwise we have all of these castles and things, which I'm not entirely sure if that really needs to be... Does that really need to be taken? I don't know. This obviously is going to be extremely difficult because there are 466 in the garrison there. They're going to be sallying out almost every single time. They don't have that much food, you see? They don't have that many food stocks, so it could potentially be a way for us to go there. And indeed, Lest as well, as you see there, has an insane amount of people in the garrison. So, yeah, I'm kind of thinking that it's going to be a bit too difficult for us to do anything there. I could create an army. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Armies might make sense. There's two people relatively close by to me right now. These are from the mercenary company. So I'm actually going to call them. Because they are very, very close by. Might as well do it. It's going to get me 321 troops. 321 troops. Is that enough to actually do what I need to do? I don't think it is, actually, but we have enough influence to kind of run around with them for a little bit, so I guess that's kind of decent. We're getting some more upgrades in Sholgar Fort. I have no idea why we're getting upgrades there. I didn't actually queue anything up as far as I remember, but maybe I did. Alright, so I kind of feel like we have to leave a little bit earlier than I'd like, and I would love to go and take Lest, actually, but I'm thinking maybe this is going to be easier. The problem with... Okay, look. The problem with this is that we are inevitably going to be losing a huge amount of our mercenary allies' troops. They are just literally going to throw themselves into the opponent. They're probably going to get themselves killed very, very easily. So we do have to be aware of that. That basically means that we can only go into a siege maybe once or twice before the allies become almost useless. So that's a bit of a problem, as you can see by the War of the Ring menu as well, by the way. Yeah, it's kind of bugged out a little bit again, which is unfortunate. It would have been very cool to see what's actually, happening accurately, but again, work in progress, right? Work in progress. Early stage of development for the mod. So otherwise, what we'll do is we'll make our way down here. I kind of want to go back to Mistran to recruit some people. Actually, maybe I can recruit some people from the villages here. Maybe that would work. This was actually under siege, but for some reason people have left it. I don't know why. Actually, not entirely sure what I need to do to eliminate Rune completely, apart from obviously capture their thieves. I actually wonder whether they're going to start defecting to other factions. That might very well be cool. Oh, really? Oh, they actually already raided this village. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, we have... how much do we have? 343. Okay, yes, we have 343, and this has 700. This is actually pretty decent in my opinion. I don't feel like we should have too many issues taking this, and especially if they have a much lower food stock. We might be able to starve them out a little bit. We just got Way of the Saddle as well, by the way, which does provide us with additional charge damage and maneuvering for our mount, which is very, very good. We have 35 additional HP, or 30, actually, 30 additional HP, which is very, very nice. And we also have, yes, as I said, that thief over here has come under siege about, what, 2 or 3 times, I think. So, yeah, I don't think we really need to worry about it at the moment, but I'm assuming that maybe we are going to have to worry about it soon, and we might have to take it back. But that's okay. We don't really need to worry about that just yet, because this is our main priority. You can see here, I think this garrison probably would have already sallied out if we didn't have these 2 guys with us. So that is their only purpose, basically. Their only purpose is to kind of make it so that the opponent does not sally out. Unfortunately, it is 24 days. They do have 24 days worth of food. It may very well be that we can starve them out a little bit earlier, but yeah, it's one of those times where you just kind of don't really know. You don't really know what's going to happen, because sometimes the marketplace does transfer food over to the garrison, and they are able to, you know, stay alive much easier. But other times they get starved out really quite quickly. So there are, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's just going to have to be left up to fate. Alright, so we do have a level up here. Very, very nice. I'm actually kind of surprised about that. I think we need to get to level 32 before we get our next attribute point. I'm going to be putting another one in intelligence. So 32, 36. So we need to get to 36 before we're able to fully max out intelligence, which for me personally, I feel like that is kind of good. That's kind of in range, you know? That's kind of nice. I like it. So otherwise, what we're going to do is, yeah, all of this stuff is kind of useless for us, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to take something random. And we're otherwise just going to be speccing our last point into leadership here. The only other thing that we can really do is maybe start leveling up scouting. We don't actually have a scout, as far as I'm aware. So I don't know what's happened with my companions, but it's actually hilarious. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, so this is what's currently happening. We have 13 days worth of food remaining. Technically, it's going to take... yeah, it's going to take 12 days until they start starving. Maybe it's going to be a little bit better, but you can see here that I'm actually running out of food as well, because I'm having to provide food for our allies, because they're having some problems too. So this is an issue. This is generally the issue when it comes to starving people out. And yeah, by the way, that thief is still under siege as far as I'm aware, which is quite funny. I'm not entirely sure what's happening there, but yeah. Anyway, we have destroyed quite a few enemy troops just through siege bombardment, and that's actually something that I feel would be really, really nice. A nice little idea would be a perk. And I'm talking about a perk in the engineering skill tree, obviously, and basically just make it so that engineering sometimes has, let's just say, a percentage chance, because everyone seems to be super, you know, loving the randomness or whatever. But the fact is, let's just say that there is a percentage chance once you take this perk that allows you to, I don't know, when you do damage to an enemy siege engine, potentially there's like a, I don't know, what, 25% chance to deal double damage to siege bombardment casualties. Or if I wanted to be a little bit more exciting, I would say make it a 25% chance for 4 times the amount of damage. So in other words, what you'd be able to do is you do damage to one of these catapults, and instead of destroying just 1 or 2 individuals, instead of killing them, you would take out 8 to 10 or something like that. I think that would be exceptionally nice, because that would actually provide an additional way for you to progress in a siege. And it wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be too difficult to implement, at least as far as I'm aware, but, you know, this would have to be done in the base game. Or, you know, If you want to add additional perks, then obviously you can do that, but I don't know how to do that. So yeah, anyway, the point is we've got 9 days left. I guess we can just hope that maybe we can start. Oh, no, actually, no, never mind. No, we're just doing some damage to the garrison through siege bombardment. I was kind of hoping that they were already starting to starve out, but yeah, it's been a huge amount of time, as you can quite clearly see. And this is the funny thing. I've said this time and time again. The longer we take to do any kind of offensive action, the worse the entire map looks, because Mordor and Isengard, they are not gonna stop. They are not gonna stop at just doing, you know, what they've done. They want to take the entire map. So it's going to be extremely difficult for us if we are slacking on the captures. But I personally don't know, and I highly doubt I would be able to go in here and actually achieve victory without starving them out first. Alright, so yeah, we're having a bit of a problem here. We've lost a lot of power from our mercenaries because they have run out of food. As you can see, I actually have very little ability to support them any further because, as you see, we ourselves only have 16. So, oh dear. I'm going to have to go in here, aren't I? Yes, I'm going to have to go in here. This is actually going to be extremely dangerous for us because we only have 106. I mean, technically, I only have 80, right? I only have about 80 people. And this is going to be extremely dangerous because if we fail here, we can potentially get taken prisoner. And that is going to be very bad. Okay, so let's have a look. Do these guys actually have decent stuff? Yes, they do. Okay, so, yeah, well, we obviously have a lot better, so we're just going to put that there. There we go. All right, so we are out. Okay, where do we want to go? The question is, I guess we're just going to do this. Just going to put them into a square formation. And we're going to charge in, I guess. I'm not sure if this is a good idea, considering I can get shot pretty easily. As you can see, my horse is taking pretty hefty damage. But that's okay. We don't really need to worry about... Oh, no. How did they hit me from around the corner? Are you serious? Can they see me from here? They must have been able to. That's kind of crazy. Alright, let's tell our forces to hold position inside. Try to get them around there. And we are going to go for the archers, of course. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. And we are just going to go up here. Kill these guys as fast as possible. As fast as humanly possible. And... come on now. Kill him. Yes. There we go. That is what we like to see. Okay, perfect, perfect. Now we can do some damage. Let's tell them to charge. Tell my forces to charge in. We want to make sure that they are being as aggressive as possible. We need to also make sure that they're not taking any damage, though, which is a big, big problem, because how do you do that, you know? How do you make sure that they're being aggressive while still maintaining their HP? I guess just get them medicine skill to 275, you know, just get them that. Then you're going to probably be fine. Funnily enough, the enemy has actually come around the side here. This is very surprising. Okay, so they are actually wanting to hold this position very, very badly, which makes me believe that they know that this is the key. Maybe it's going to be the key. I don't know. But we'll see. Let's try and kill this. There we go. That guy's dead. That guy's dead. Maybe we can kill this guy. There we go. Nice. Just move in slightly here. I need to be very, very careful here, and I need to be very selective. Yeah, because of this. This is the reason. Thankfully, my athletic skill is so good that we can just literally run away. But if it wasn't, we'd have some problems. Okay, how are we doing here? How are we doing here? Not so good. Yeah, not so good, actually. Not so good. Yeah, this is bad. I feel like retreating actually right now. But the problem with retreating is that if we retreat, you know what it's gonna do? It's gonna do, yeah. We're gonna have to run all the way back to our town, and we basically have no food whatsoever. So it is gonna be very bad for us to do that. Basically, it's a do or die situation right now. If we do not capture this, we are going to have some big problems afterwards. But I am not sure if we're going to achieve victory here. Let's try to consolidate our forces back into a regular formation. There we go. All right, everyone's looking pretty nice. All right, everyone healthy? Yeah, okay. We've only killed 150. Oh, no. That is so bad. Okay. I was kind of hoping that we'd killed at least 200, but no, 150 is it. Okay, that's it. That's all. Wow, okay. Well, we've lost 12 people total. I mean, technically, I've lost 7, so we have about 74 remaining. That's not that good. Maybe we could try to do some damage here. I just need my forces to play as defensively as possible, but I also need to be worried about my HP. All I can do is just try to do damage in the back here. And if I can do that, maybe we could... Yes, maybe we could force them into some kind of retreat, which is obviously perfect. Okay, now... No. Don't get hit now. Don't get hit now, you idiot. Don't get hit now. There we go. No, don't do that. There we go. Alright, no, we're fine. Kind of. I could die easily from any of these guys, so I need to be very, very careful. Oh no, archers. Okay, the archers are saying hello to us, and they very much know what they want. They want a nice headshot. The question is, am I going to be able to survive going up the stairs here? Because I'm feeling that I'm being shot at. No, I'm not. I'm not actually being shot at. Okay, interesting. Anyone up here? No, no one's up here. Okay, very interesting. Interesting. Okay, I'm kind of a bit suspicious. Because I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's happening there? You know, what's happening with all these people? Thankfully, my forces should go first. Oh, archers. Okay, be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. Yeah. I am gonna die here. Almost 100% certain. Am I? No, I'm alive. I'm actually alive. Okay, this is very interesting. Would have expected me to die almost immediately upon going... There it is. Okay, there it is. Okay, so the question remains, no, I don't think we can actually do this. Can we? No. Okay, this is so bad. I don't actually think we can... No, we cannot. We cannot. There's still 500... I mean, there's 500 total, right? So we still need to kill another 250. We needed to be alive for the majority of the carnage. And you can see here, look at this, there's still 300 remaining. Absolutely impossible. Really, really harsh. Alright. At least our thief over there hasn't been taken or anything like that, so that's pretty nice, right? Anyway, yeah. Even with these guys, it still wasn't possible. It just goes to show that some of these sieges are extremely difficult to do. Even, well, I mean, I could have starved them out, but obviously I didn't have enough food. You know, I literally just didn't have enough food to be able to sustain ourselves as well as maintain the pressure on the thief itself. That is so bad. Okay. I mean, we have 13 days left. Technically, I could have done it, but obviously then my mercenaries would have been completely useless, and then potentially the opponent would have sallied out. So that's the thing that I was really, really worried about. As you can see, we've now unlocked all of these guys, which is really, really nice. So let's just get all of them. And we will place a couple in the garrison. Yes, we'll place a couple in the garrison here. There we go. And let's actually just take a quick look here. Okay, so we do have a couple of level ups. Let's go for some more Sylvan Sentinels so we can start to, you know, get a couple more archers. And then obviously because we have a load of... I mean, there should be a load of food, right? Yeah, there is a huge amount of food here, so this is really, really good. Let's just buy as much as we possibly can here. There we go. And then we can obviously... here we go. Yes, look, he's already... Look at that. He's used all of his stuff. That's wonderful. And obviously what we're going to do is we're going to slap a whole bunch more in there. And then, well, the problem is I really, really badly want to take this. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be possible. We have taken this, obviously, which is really good. And it would be... I mean, technically what I probably should have done was just gone to the castle here. But I was going for something that was higher, so much higher in value. Even though, to be fair, it is actually quite far away from a number of thieves. Oh, wait a minute, look at this. Yeah, so that's how we get into Hara territory. The map is absolutely huge. Mordor as well. Wow, okay, yeah, Mordor as well. So this is actually hilarious because we are quite close to where Mordor is, technically. Obviously, we're kind of protected by this massive mountain formation here, but you know, of course, there is a sort of like little entrance in the secret entrance over there. Yeah, how is Gondor doing? Actually, not bad, surprisingly enough. Rohan, on the other hand, is basically looking like they're at death's door. I highly doubt they're going to be able to do anything here. I mean, maybe. I don't know. It depends. I mean, you can see here that Edoras has a full garrison complement of defenders, so it's going to be very, very hard for them. Otherwise, my caravan is still running around. He's actually doing... I don't even know how he's doing, to be honest. By the way, thank you very much. I did not realize that you could hold Alt on this, because obviously Alt is used for a variety of things to gain more information. I just didn't think of it, so thanks very much for letting me know. But as I say, I personally still like to see this in its own menu with a little bit more of a detailed breakdown, because as it stands right now, all I see is just a smattering of numbers, a smattering of names. It doesn't really give me that much in the way of, well, order. There's not really that much order to it. And I'd like some, I don't know, I'd like some filters and stuff like that, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm being a bit too picky. Anyway, that is actually going to be it for this episode. I would have loved to have gone back here and actually done something, but we're going to need to let our mercenaries go here, and I will probably go and just take these castles. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I'll probably do that off screen so that we can see a little bit more advanced progression of things. So I'll just go through the, you know, rigorous training to eliminate the castle's garrisons. And otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.